Hi, I'm Jack from InGuides, and today we're going to go over the installation of the Railblaza Starport system. What we're using this mount for is to attach something like this, the Railblaza Camera Boom 600, to our kayak. Typically what we've been doing, and a lot of people do, is they use a suction cup mount to mount their GoPro camera. That gives a pretty good shot, but it's just one shot. And what we want to do is we want to have the option to switch things up a little bit. What's nice from this back shot is that we can see the entire paddler, his paddle, his direction of movement, what's in front of him. So in order to kind of mix up the shots, we need to install this camera boom. And the way it attaches to your boat is with these starports. First thing you need to consider before you start drilling holes is where you want this on your boat. We want a shot from the back up high so we can see the entire paddler, his paddle, and where he's going. So for us, there's really only one option, this further part of the deck. And the nice thing about this is we're away from the bulkheads. So if we were to install this a little more forward, we would have to move around these bulkheads, which on this boat are about 2 inches wide. So you've got one here, and that's going to limit your options to something around here. Back here, we've got a little bit more room. So what we want to do is just get a nice center on this port, and we'll have the camera up here. There's two different kinds of bases. Actually, there's three. There's a third one, it's called a rib port. It uses adhesive. I wasn't really interested in using an adhesive. I wanted something that was a little more secure, a little more permanent. On the green boat, which is a Wilderness Systems Tempest 165, I used a Starport HD. I thought that would give us a good base. It uses 4 machine screws in the 4 corners. I thought that'd be solid, but there is one little drawback. These ports have a little bit more play in them. So when you go to attach a Starport accessory like this into the Starport and attach it, might be hard to see on camera, but there's a little wiggle in there. And we want our camera to be nice and secure. So I have the other option, which is the Starport base. This is the base. And this gives what feels to be a much more secure connection. So we're gonna install this on the back of this boat. Now this HD mount that I used on the other boat just has one height. This is as is, you install this on your kayak. The Starport base has a riser and a recess. So there's 2 options for installing this. If I wanted to get this base port more flush to my kayak, I would have to drill a hole this size with a hole saw to get the port lower, and then I would use the base underneath. This is a new boat. I'm not really fired up about cutting a 1-inch hole into it. So what we're gonna do is we're going to use the riser on top of the deck to mount the base. And we're gonna punch a couple holes in the deck of our kayak. So in order to keep the mount waterproof, we're going to use a little silicone sealer to seal these holes from water. Now we take our base, the gasket, and the Starport. There's 2 options for the screws. There are these more like wood screws, these self-tapping screws, and then the machine screws. The thing about the machine screws is you have a washer and nut that goes on the other side of the deck, and we just feel that's gonna give us a more secure, permanent mount, so we're gonna go with the machine screw option. Now, because I used a drill bit that was about the same diameter as the screw, the screws don't slide right through the holes. They do need to be drilled in, which gives us a nice tight fit. What you don't want to do, obviously, is over drill these. You want to keep the screw out. Now we're going to go underneath the deck to attach the washer and nut. And the other thing about the self-tapping screws is that might be a good option if you don't have access to the back deck. Because we don't have a bulkhead here and we can get in nice and easy, it's not a problem to use machine screws with the nut. But if you don't have access to your deck, then those self-tapping screws are probably the way to go. You have to realize that if you're going to follow the installation as we're doing it and have your camera back here, you're either going to have to land to stop your camera, change its position, or have a friend in the water with you that can start-stop the camera from their boat. So just keep that in mind, that this is a placement that will not allow you to operate your camera on your own, except if you're using the remote control feature of the GoPro. You can use the Bluetooth control to start-stop your camera. If you're using start-stop from your phone, you can actually check your shot by looking at the picture on your phone. So those are some options. We'll go into more of that on the use video. All right, so that's the install. Probably took us, I don't know, 2 minutes. The most difficult part of the whole thing is finding out where you want to put it on your boat. For us, that was kind of obvious, right here in the back. Put a couple of holes in, fill them with silicone, attach the machine screws, and we're set to go. So what we're gonna do is this week we'll take the system out, we'll shoot with it, learn the ins and outs, and then we'll come back with another video to show you using the Railblaza system. Thanks for watching.